Hey guys, Karan from Scrub here, and we've got a fresh new series from Samsung, the Galaxy M series. And it's come out with two variants this time, the M10 and the M20. The one I have is the M20, and let's get right into the unboxing. The M series is going to fall in the entry-level to upper entry-level smartphones and in the price range of about 7,000 to 12,000 rupees. But of course, we'll have to wait for the final price at the launch. It will be in the description below. Now quickly opening up the box, and that's the phone right there, the Galaxy M20. And I have to say, it actually feels pretty solid and robust, and that's the first impressions. Of course, we're gonna go into more details along with this video ahead. Next is a fast charger, the Type-C fast charger. That's great. Again, Samsung's doing a great job bringing these into its upper entry-level smartphones. And of course, you get a Type-C cable, data syncing and charging cable with it. And the last piece is just ejection pin and no earphones, and that's alright. I think most people do have their own high-end earphones that they like to use with their phones, and this way Samsung is able to reduce costs and you're able to get the same smartphone at a much better price. Now of course the final price is going to be in the description below, but looking at the box it says 13,000. So let's say that it sells for about 11,000 rupees give or take. I think it's a pretty good looking phone for that price with an impressive build and hopefully good performance, and we'll test that out in the video ahead. And guys, before we move on with the review, it'll be great if you could support my channel by liking this video, subscribing to my channel, and hitting that bell icon so you never miss a video from me. So it's supposed to come out in two colors, charcoal black and the denim blue. Love the denim blue color at the back. It's basically all plastic, but you wouldn't really realize it too much, and sure, it's going to attract quite a few fingerprints and dust, but so does the glass back, so there's nothing really to complain about. It's just that glass looks a little bit more premium than plastic, but that's that. At the back you get a dual camera setup with single LED flash, and we'll talk more about the camera quality, some sample pictures as well, and I'll make all of that available for download. And then right next to that you've got the fingerprint sensor, which is placed at a very appropriate spot and a very natural place to place your finger and unlock the screen comfortably. The front, however, has a bigger improvement. You now get an Infinity V display. The display is a lot more bezel-less, and you do get a teardrop notch. That way you get a screen-to-body ratio of over 90%. And you'll also see that the glass is slightly raised above the actual display. Very similar to the 2.5D glass that Samsung's used in the past, but this one's a little bit more prominent, and you'll feel it even more when you hold it. The best thing about the M20, however, is its battery capacity at 5000 mAh. It does make the phone a little chunky, but it's still convenient to use with one hand. Of course, two hands is just going to be a lot easier given the size of the device. You get a Type-C port at the bottom and fast charging, which would be much needed to charge this mammoth of a battery, so that's really good. And it's a dual SIM device, so it supports dual VoLTE, and it has a microSD card slot as well, so you can expand storage whenever you want. Okay, moving on, the M20 runs Android 8.1 Oreo with Samsung Experience version 9.5. It's a little bit upsetting to see that the new phones are not coming with Android 9 and the new Samsung One UI. But this one does have some improvements over the previous generation of Samsung Experience version 9, and I'll talk all about that in this video so you'll know what all is there in this device. But the good news is the Galaxy M10 and M20 both are scheduled to receive their Android Pie updates sometime in August 2019, so sit back and hold tight. The lock screen, however, is something new and different. It's called Lock Screen Stories, and basically every time you lock and unlock your device, you see a new wallpaper. Now, some of these are also featured stories or advertised content, and I'll leave that to you to decide whether it's useful or not useful, but there are a bunch of these and you could just, keep scrolling through. Some stories are interesting, some are actually just promoted, so yeah. And you do get all your notifications in one place. You can just tap on it and it opens a list of notifications. There aren't too many preloaded apps on the phone, which is good because, it keeps the phone light and swift. It's completely up to you as to what kind of applications you want to go ahead and install. But yeah, some basic Samsung goodies are already installed, the Google Suite, the Microsoft apps, and all of that. You get a couple of customization and personalization options like, changing the theme, the wallpaper, applying video wallpapers on the lock screen, and so on and so forth. And what I'm really amazed at is that Samsung's introduced the Dolby Atmos feature in this smartphone, which is just great because at this price point, you're getting flagship level experience. And if you do connect your earphones and turn on the Dolby Atmos mode, just turn on Netflix and you would know the difference. It's significant and it's really cinematic. And now let's talk about the display. The M20 features a 6.3-inch TFT display with FHD Plus resolution, and finally it's great to see Samsung live up to its screen standards in terms of resolution, which has been a pain point in the past with the J series and the On series smartphones. The screen is TFT, but it's certainly very bright and colorful. Of course, you get a notch at the top now, and that just increases the screen to body ratio, so you've got more screen real estate, and that just makes the display much more immersive and bezel-less. So yeah, the display is big, it's colorful and sharp. So obviously watching videos and playing games is going to be super fun, super immersive, and you're just going to love it. And while I'll talk about gaming more when I'm talking about the performance of the phone, but just from a display standpoint, I'm playing the Asphalt 9 over here. The colors look great, and this game is playing in absolute HD quality. It's just amazing. Oh, and the screen is super bright, so even if you're outdoors in bright sunlight, absolutely no issues with the M20. And in addition to the personalization options I talked about, there's ultra data saving mode, there is advanced settings like multi-window, direct call, smart alert, chat over video, and so on. And one of my favorite features that they've introduced with the Experience version 9.5 is full screen navigation gestures. So, basically you get rid of your navigation buttons and just use gestures to go back, home, or recent apps. Of course, the phone does come with face unlock, so, it's there for you if you really want to use it. Okay, so let's jump on to the performance. While price-wise, it might be an entry-level or an upper entry-level smartphone, but when it comes to performance, it might actually be pretty good for its price. The M20 is powered by a new Samsung Exynos 7904 octa-core processor with 4 gigs of RAM. And, to really test that out, I started playing some popular high-definition games to check performance and to see if there is any lag in, during the gameplay. Now, I did start playing Asphalt 9, and there was a considerable amount of time for it to load the specific stage that I was playing. So yeah, when it comes to loading times, it is a little slow, and we'll check that in other games as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna start playing Asphalt 9, and I did play this game for about 20 minutes before doing this video. And I have to say, I did not face any issues, no delays, no frame lags or anything. It was pretty smooth. The phone did not even get hot, and I did not even lose a lot of battery. Well, of course, it's 5000 milliampere hour, and it really does what it says. I also then started playing Chameleon Run, and in the past, Chameleon Run has given some smartphones a real run for its resources, especially in this segment of smartphones that we're talking about for the M20. But the M20, it was flawless even while playing Chameleon Run, and I think that's a great thing. And of course, I had to test PUBG for all you fans out there. So here's the thing, the game set itself to balanced graphics and medium frame rate by default depending on how good the performance is. But for demonstration purposes, I did increase the frame rate to high and graphics to HD. And then I started playing the game. It was choppy at first, so when I'm playing this right now, it is a little choppy. It's not as smooth as it should be. But look at how those shadows just appear and disappear. Yeah, that's probably why the game set itself to medium graphics and medium frame rate, or balanced graphics as it was. But you can still go on and play in high definition graphics if you really want to. The game it might not be as smooth and as amazing as it should be, but yeah, I would suggest you just go with the regular settings. When it comes to performance of the phone for daily activities, you really should not face any issues. Screen transitions are smooth, they're flawless, app switching is quick and convenient, and apps open decently quick. Of course, it's not going to be super fast like in OnePlus or any flagship device, and it'll be dumb for me to even compare it to that. But yeah, for an entry-level or upper entry-level smartphone, I think it's a pretty good performer. And now let's talk about the camera. You get a dual camera setup with the main lens being a 13 megapixel shooter and the secondary lens being an ultra wide lens with a 120-degree field of view. And while I don't have a detailed camera review ready for you guys right now, but here are some sample shots and I will make them available for download, so you can just download them and look at them on your phone screen or your computer screen. But overall, I think for its price point, the camera was quite nice. The day shots came out really well, and I did take it out one night as well for some low light photography, and I think it did a decent job. You don't expect this to be something like Galaxy Note 9 or the iPhone, so it still did a pretty good job, I think. And yeah, back at the interface, there's this icon that takes you into the ultra wide mode. So you can keep switching between ultra wide and the normal mode. The difference being, this is a picture that I took in normal mode, and with ultra wide mode, it just captures more field of view. So you're just able to gather more content in the same frame. And let me also quickly talk about the camera software. It's pretty similar to any other Samsung phone that you might have purchased in the past. You've got all your modes on the top. You can, very easily switch between them. You've got live focus, the portrait shot. You've got beauty mode, and then some settings at the bottom. Now within beauty mode, if you go into that, you would see that you can, manipulate skin tones, face, and eyes. I think they used to have nose as well. Under settings, you get the option to choose the resolution of the picture you take and the video. It does offer full HD video recording, but at 30 frames per second. There is competition giving 4K video as well, but that doesn't really matter. Front camera, again, you can change the resolution, the video resolution, which again, it supports full HD. So that's great for, video calls on Skype and WhatsApp. And you can edit your camera mode, so you can decide which ones to have up front, and you can edit their order as well. So depending on what you use the most, you can have that come up. And yeah, as I was saying, the phone does not let you shoot full HD or 4K videos at 60 frames per second, which means you do not get super smooth videos. You pretty much get 30 FPS videos. And lastly, the battery. The 5000 mAh battery is probably the most amazing feature of the M20. It is the much needed upgrade in the world of smartphones, and more battery life just means you can do much more on your phone without being tied down with a charger. The M20 battery life is crazy awesome, and you could easily go for a day and a half straight if you have medium usage. And even if you have high usage, it would easily last you the entire day, right from disconnecting in the morning from your charger all the way up to midnight. So yeah, go crazy. Overall, if my predictions for the cost of the M20 is right, it is going to be one of the most value for money choice that you can make in this price segment. The other choices in this price range are the Realme 2, the Asus Zenfone Max M1 Pro, and the Honor 9N. But given Samsung's credibility and quality and trust, Samsung can definitely, ask its users for a small premium, and that's how it goes.